The war between Russia and Ukraine has entered its 395th day, Saturday. The following are a number of events that occurred, including 10 civilians who died until the UN claims that both sides executed prisoners of war together. At least 10 civilians were killed and 20 others injured in Russian long-range bombing in parts of Ukraine on Friday, officials said. The victims included 2 people who were killed in a heavy Russian strike on the town of Balapilya in the northern Ukrainian province of Sumy, President Volodymyr Zelensky's office said. The United Nations is deeply concerned by what it says are the summary executions of prisoners of war by Russian and Ukrainian forces on the battlefield. A new report from the Office of the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights says its monitors have documented dozens of executions by both sides. Reports say the real number is likely to be higher and that the two may have committed war crimes. Former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev said Moscow is preparing for a Ukrainian counteroffensive that is being prepared by Kyiv. Medvedev, who is deputy chairman of Putin's powerful Security Council, warned that Moscow was ready to use any weapon if Ukraine tried to retake the Crimean Peninsula, which Russia annexed in 2014. Russian troops attacked the northern and southern front lines in eastern Ukraine's eastern Donbass region on Friday. Ukrainian military reports describe heavy fighting along the line running from Lyman to Kupiansk, as well as further south at Avdiivka on the outskirts of Russian-held Donetsk. U.S. President Joe Biden says he believes China has not shipped weapons to Russia after its invasion of Ukraine. "I have been hearing for the last 3 months China is going to provide significant weapons to Russia. They haven't done that," he told a news conference on Friday. "Not that they won't, but they haven't." Ukraine claims Russian forces are exhausted in Bakhmut and its commanders have started raising the prospect of an unlikely turnaround in the besieged eastern Ukrainian city. 3 women were among at least 5 people killed after a Russian missile hit the town of Kostantinivka in the Donetsk region, local officials said. Russia carried out the attack on Thursday night with an S-300 anti-aircraft missile, prosecutors said. Air Force commanders from Sweden, Norway, Finland and Denmark agreed to create a unified Nordic air defense aimed at countering the increasing threat from Russia. The aim of the air defenses is to be able to operate jointly based on known modes of operation under NATO, according to statements by the armed forces of the 4 countries. Several thousand civilians are estimated to still be in the city and spent most of the day in heavy shelling of shelters, said the ICRC's Umar Khan. EU Foreign Policy Chief Josep Borrell says the friendship between China and Russia has limits, and that Europe should welcome any attempt by Beijing to distance itself from Moscow's war on Ukraine. He said China had not crossed a red line, adding that Beijing's proposal to end the war showed it did not want to completely fall in line with Russia. The bodies of 83 Ukrainian soldiers who died in the war have been returned from the Russian side, a Ukrainian official said. Separately, Kyiv said it had handed over a number of seriously wounded Russian soldiers. 7 Ukrainian children have been reunited with their families after being forcibly taken to Russian-occupied Crimea, says the Kherson Regional Military Administration. The security situation around the southern Ukrainian city of Mykolaiv must improve before its port can be included in a deal allowing the safe export of Ukrainian grain, a senior Ukrainian official said. The deal was extended this month, but Kyiv and Moscow differed on how long the extension would last. The son of a Russian regional governor who is due to be extradited from Italy to the U.S. has disappeared, according to reports. U.S. authorities accuse Artyom Uss, the son of the governor of the Krasnoyarsk region of Siberia, of illegal oil and arms trade, money laundering and violations of sanctions. Pentagon. China has sent very disturbing message. Chinese President Xi Jinping's recent state visit to Russia should be considered a matter of great concern to the United States, U.S. The statement was made by U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin to lawmakers on Thursday. Addressing the U.S. House of Representatives Subcommittee on Defense Allocations, Austin was asked to respond to Xi's trip to Russia and its consequences for competition between China and the U.S. Xi's visit to Russian President Vladimir Putin and staying there for a few days I think sends a very troubling message, a message of support, Austin said. He stated that for a while, the Pentagon had not seen any signs that China was assisting Russia with military equipment to be used against Ukraine. But the Pentagon is watching the situation very closely, warning that, if they go that route, I think it would be deeply troubling to the international community, Austin said. Quoted from the Russia Today page, Friday, the Pentagon chief then warned that if Xi decided to arm Russia, then it will prolong the conflict and of course expand the potential for conflict, not only in the region, but globally. On Monday, Xi began his 3-day state visit to Moscow, Russia, holding talks with Russian President Vladimir Putin. During the summit, the two sides signed dozens of documents on enhancing defense, industrial and economic cooperation. Russia and China also vowed to deepen comprehensive partnership relations and strategic interaction into a new era. It should be noted, the U.S. claims that China has considered sending weapons to Russia, while threatening consequences if China does such a move. But China has denied the accusations, accusing the U.S. of spreading false information and fanning the flames of the Ukraine conflict. It is the United States that is relentlessly sending weapons to the battlefield, not China, said Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman Wang Wenbin last month. Since the start of the conflict between Ukraine and Russia just over a year ago, Western countries have supplied Ukraine with large quantities of military equipment, with the U.S. alone providing security assistance totaling more than $32.5 billion. Russia has repeatedly warned the West that such support will only prolong the conflict and make it a direct participant in the hostilities.